Just kind of working on a few more intermediate level things that you might want to try for your playing cards if you're going to make a example playing card project. And the last thing you might want to add would be typography. It's a chance, there's a possibility that the type might be useful for you here. And so again, all of our tools are over here on this side, and if you click on this one that says the type tool and you just click on it, it'll give you the kind of classic filler text that you'll see there. And then up here above, you'll get a chance to kind of play around with whichever kind of typeface that you find to be interesting, right? So you can use, can just scroll through these. You can add type. I'm not going to get too deeply into type and how to add it now, but just so you know, there's a lot of options that you can play around with. So we will just pick a simple one, like maybe this one, and start playing around with that. And then to change the size of it, you can just click this button up here and it will let you change the scale, right? So all your typography options are up here. You can also always go to Window and scroll down here and look for the one that says type, and it'll give you like a little palette that has all the different options on it. So so that's how you kind of would play with type if you wanted to add the words in there. A couple of things that people often really like to try and do would be to put type on like a path. So let's say you wanted to do kind of a circular path of some sort. Just you could grab the pen tool here, and then let's say I'm going to do something sort of like this. I could come back up here, and I could select this and change my stroke. And then, if you wanted to see the path, so sometimes it's easier to see it, you could click on the black. And then, I could use my white arrow tool, right, to adjust the, just double click that, adjust the path a little bit to make it look the way I want it to. And so if I wanted my type to kind of go around this, one of the things I could do would be to just grab this tool here that is the type on a path tool, and just kind of click, and you'll see your type will sort of fill in around that. So if you keep just adding words, it'll fill it all the way around. It's up to you to figure out how you want to do that. But this is basically, it'll follow the path, so which is pretty great. And you can do the same thing where you adjust sizes and scale. And if you want to adjust the path now that you've done this, you can, again, just grab the white arrow tool, and you'll notice the black line disappeared and the type just follows it now. You can just double click on one of these little spots, and you'll see the familiar handles. Oops, sorry, got to double click. The familiar handles that you can find here now. Oops. And it'll let you kind of like mess with how that type is kind of moving around on the path. So really pretty simple thing. Makes a lot of sense. You can always build textures and patterns out of this as well. And there's a lot of options under this type tool right here. So there's an area type tool where if you make a shape, like you can fill it with type, you can do type vertically. It's worth kind of playing around with all of that just to see how it works. And the thing to know would be, like, let's say you use a special font of some sort that doesn't come on everybody's computer, and you try to open up this file somewhere else. It might be missing the link to that typeface. So what you might want to do, and what I always suggest everyone does before they print as they're finishing up their project, if they know their type looks the way they want it to, is just to select your type, go up here to the type sort of menu up there at the top, and you want to go to this one that says create outlines. So what that's going to do is, right now I can go in, right, and I can change this, and I can add some more, some more letters. I can adjust my type. But if I know it's right, I can go to type, create outlines, and it's going to basically convert all of that type into vectors now. So it's no longer editable. I can't go in here and like add any more words. Each letter is now its own individual set of vector points, which again is kind of great because I can go in here and I can adjust that if I want to. So if I want to make some kind of a special thing happen where I mess with this O, I can do that, and all of these points are editable. So that becomes a shape. So sometimes that's actually a pretty nice, easy way to kind of create a shape even. And you can just use type as like your baseline. So, and the cool thing about this is now if I put this, let's just put the O in there, and I, make it bigger. I probably need to go up here and just click back on this so that I'm out of the isolation mode. Now I can do that whole thing where we make a clipping mask out of it, right? So if I go to Object and I go to clipping mask and make, it's now gonna, oh, went the wrong way. I have to have both things selected. So I have to select this and the background. I can go in here to Object, go to clipping mask, make, and now it should knock. You can kind of figure out how to play around with it because I have too many things selected all at once right now. But basically, you can do that thing we did earlier where this thing and the thing behind it, you can make it into a clipping mask. And it'll kind of knock out everything except for like what's behind the photo that's behind there. So it's kind of a cool thing. You'll see this done a lot in different kinds of design. Just a good thing to know. So that's, again, typography. Type on a path, creating outlines. Those are really important things to know how to do if you're gonna work with Illustrator, because now you can take this type any place you want to, and it's like it just lives as vectors. So if you have a specialized typeface, and you don't have that on another computer that you transfer this file to, this type will still work. If you don't create outlines out of it, it's a possibility that your type will be not linked correctly. You'll have to replace that font with a different font, and oftentimes that looks pretty bad. So there's just a couple little tricks for you. Have fun. Good luck.